The main opposition contender, Morgan Tsvangirai, called the whole thing a huge farce. The results are due out this weekend. Western countries were not allowed to send observers, and they are waiting before making any comments. Later on, we'll have a live debate on the claims and counterclaims. Well, Charles has been assessing reactions so far.
The morning papers are calling it an overwhelming victory for Robert Mugabe. And if they're right, it means the 89-year-old looks set to remain president of Zimbabwe for another 5 years.
Well, there's still not been an official result announced, but there are plenty of claims and counterclaims over the result and the conduct of the vote. A senior source close to Robert Mugabe in the ZANU-PF party denied any interference in the electoral process, saying, "We've taken this election." But Mugabe's old rival, Morgan Tsvangirai, has denounced the result, calling the vote a huge farce. Today, the EU said, unlike in 2008, the voting had been broadly peaceful, but added it couldn't comment on whether or not the election had been rigged. But it was free, honest and credible, according to the African Union's chief observer. Compare that to the independent Zimbabwe Election Support Network. It believes more than 1 million voters were disenfranchised, particularly in urban areas, where voters were turned away from the polling stations.
The cities are where support for Tsvangirai is typically higher than for ZANU-PF. Earlier in the year, the coalition government passed constitutional reforms that enshrined freedom of speech and a free state media. But the election fell before those reforms could be put into practice.
The fact that this election was hurried before reforms could be implemented points to the fact that it's an election that is a sham election.
With a huge swing in favour of ZANU-PF expected in Parliament, analysts warn Mugabe will be able to pass new constitutional amendments to entrench his position in Zimbabwean politics even further.